kampante po kami. I-apply ng ICC yung naging ruling na nila sa isang kaso, no? Na bakit ka pa magsisimula ng kaso kung hindi ka naman makipagtulungan yung bansa na naging miyembro ng ICC. Decision po yan ng ICC mismo, pre-trial chamber, doon po sa kaso na nais sila mag-imbestiga laban sa mga Amerikano.
Ang hindi binabanggit ni Harry Roque, inapila ng prosecutor ang desisyon na yan, umabot yan sa pinakamataas na level ng ICC bilang korte at ni-reverse ng higher chambers ang unang desisyon ng lower chambers na sinabing wag ituloy ang kaso. So sinabi ng higher chambers, pwedeng ituloy ang kaso. So ang desisyon ngayon ng ICC, pagpatuloy ang pag-imbestiga sa kasong may kinalaman sa Afghanistan at may kinalaman sa mga sundalong Amerikano. Hindi kompleto ang sinasabi ng spokesperson ni Duterte. It's not only intellectual dishonesty that's the problem here. I think it's also the fact that the President of the Philippines and his spokesperson want to mislead the Filipino people into thinking that accountability is not possible outside the Philippines. Accountability is possible outside the Philippines precisely because the President and his spokesperson are preventing accountability from happening inside the Philippines.
Position of the president is unequivocal and inflexible. ICC never acquired jurisdiction over our country for the reason that he has given us. The requirement of publication imposed by law was not observed.
Simula noong 2011, kasali ang Pilipinas sa ICC. Umalis ang Pilipinas sa ICC effective March 2019. So lahat ng mga nangyari mula 2011 hanggang March 2019 na pwedeng makasuhan mga Pilipino, ang presidente ng Pilipinas dahil krimen ito sa ilalim ng ICC Treaty, pwede pa rin ipagpatuloy sa ICC. Kahit na umalis ang Pilipinas mula noong March 2019 sa ICC Treaty, kung merong mga crimes against humanity, halimbawa, na nangyari sa Pilipinas bago ito umalis sa ICC, kahit na wala na ang Pilipinas, hindi na siya kasali sa ICC, pwede pa rin ipagpatuloy ng prosecutor ang examination, investigation, at kung palagay niya dapat kasuhan, pwede pa rin ituloy ang kaso sa ICC. So even if the law were to require the Philippines, and I think the Philippines is still required to cooperate with the ICC even after withdrawing from the ICC, the reality is you cannot expect officials under the Duterte administration to cooperate with the ICC. The ICC has, in fact, dealt with the same problem in the case involving the country of Burundi in Africa. Yung Burundi nag-withdraw din sa ICC. Natuloy ang examination ng presidente ng ICC ng Burundi at iba pang mga opisyal kahit na nag-withdraw sila.
Malinaw po ang sinasabi ng presidente nang hindi niya kikilalanin ang jurisdiksyon ng ICC sa kanyang pagkatao dahil mababiolate yung kanyang karapatan to due process dahil hindi nga na-publish ng gobyerno daw ni Presidente Aquino yung ICC Rome Statute in full. No?
Pwede pa rin kasuhan ang isang head of state or head of government, isang presidente, isang prime minister, kahit na sa bansa niya, batas, bansa nila, pati na sa Pilipinas. Meron siyang tinatawag na immunity, yung bawal kasuhan ng isang presidente na nakaupo. Unang-una sa Pilipinas, merong batas na ginagawang krimen ang mga krimen na nakalista sa ICC Treaty. So yung Crimes Against Humanity Law ng Pilipinas, kinokopya yung mga crimes sa ilalim ng ICC. In fact, isa sa mga congressman na nag-sponsor sa batas na yan, si Congressman Harry Roque. Meron pa siyang pirma, may amendment pa yan na gusto niya talagang sumunod ang batas ng Pilipinas sa batas ng ICC, pina-amyenda niya. So sa ilalim ng batas na yan, merong immunity ang presidente. Pero sa ilalim ng batas ng ICC, walang immunity ang kahit sino mang head of state or head of government. So malinaw yan, no? Kahit sa batas ng isang bansa may immunity ang presidente, Sa batas ng ICC, walang immunity ang presidente. Kahit si Duterte, kapag nakasuhan siya ng prosecutor, hindi ibig sabihin na guilty na siya. Kapag sinabi ng prosecutor na itutuloy ko yung imbestigasyon sa ICC halimbawa, hindi ibig sabihin na malilitis na siya. Marami pang mga procedural steps bago mag-issue ng warrant o bago mag-issue ng summons para mag-appear si Duterte sa ICC. Si Rodrigo Duterte, like any other head of state, or anyone, any individual who might be facing an investigation at the ICC, he will be entitled to due process. He will be entitled to defend himself. He will be entitled to bring a lawyer. He might even want to bring his spokesperson, who always claims to be the only Filipino allowed to practice at the ICC. That's because he's the only Filipino who has applied to practice at the ICC. There will be a few more steps even before any actual charges are filed in the ICC against anyone in the Philippines who might be responsible for committing thousands of extrajudicial killings, committing torture on victims of extrajudicial killings, as well as potentially cases involving violations against the rights of children at the ICC. So those are the range of cases na pwedeng ma-file sa ICC right now. Simplest answer is that once a warrant of arrest is issued, members of the ICC have to cooperate with the ICC in enforcing those warrants of arrest. So, if warrants of arrest were to be issued against any Philippine official who might be named in a preliminary investigation, which is not yet happening in the ICC, then member states of the ICC can enforce those warrants of arrest against them, including the Philippines, even if it's not a member of the ICC, but it's supposed to cooperate with the ICC. Now, what about countries that are not members of the ICC? Can they cooperate? Can they enforce warrants of arrest of the ICC? Of course they can. In fact, the United States has cooperated with the ICC, even if it's not a member of the ICC, by enforcing warrants of arrest of the ICC or arresting and turning over to the ICC suspects. Some of them are now on trial at the ICC. Dapat may pakialam ang mga Pilipino sa kaso at imbestigasyon ng ICC prosecutor dito sa drug war killings dahil libo-libong Pilipino na ang namatay. Kung may pakialam ang mga Pilipino sa ilang daang namatay dahil sa COVID sa Pilipinas, o may pakialam ang Pilipino dahil mayroong ginahasa na Pilipina, o may pakialam ang Pilipino dahil may binaril ang isang pulis na kapitbahay niya, bakit siya hindi makikialam sa pagpatay ng libo-libong Pilipino dahil sinasabing may kinalaman sila sa droga o wala silang kinalaman sa droga? Hindi natin malalaman kung may kinalaman ba sila o wala dahil pinatay lang sila. So, pwedeng mangyari yan sa kahit sinong Pilipino. Ngayon, droga. Ngayon din, sasabihin, komunista. Bukas, pwedeng sabihin, dahil hindi ka bumoto sa akin. O dahil kasali ka sa isang organisasyon na gustong magkaroon ng malinis na halalan. Pwedeng iba't ibang mga dahilan para pumatay. Hindi lang droga, hindi lang dahil naniniwala ka sa isang makakaliwang ideolohiya. So, Filipinos should care that the ICC might file charges against their president because he is still their president. And potentially, he might want to stay president of the Philippines, or he might want someone to follow him as president of the Philippines who can still potentially kill more people. And if you live in a country where the president can kill thousands of people, why would you want that president to stay in power?